The topic for today is my journey going from being deported here in Colombia in 2010, arriving in Bogota with zero money and nothing to my name really other than just a suitcase full of clothes and a borrowed laptop, to now at 43 years old having multiple businesses and being pretty financially secure. There was two things that I did that really changed my trajectory of my journey in Colombia. So one of the things that I did was obviously look for work online. So I knew how to create a website using like WordPress. I knew enough to be dangerous. So I would literally look for opportunities on Craigslist and I would call them up and I'd say, hey, I saw that you were looking for someone to build you a website. I've been doing this for 3 years. I'm building up my portfolio and I can do it for less than what most people would charge you. Are you interested? That was my pitch. On top of that, I had a giant list of emails of business owners in California, 200,000 emails. I learned that I can get a automated service that can send out basically spam. I hate to say it, but I did spam. I had to. I needed to make some money. And $4 an hour at a Colombian call center was not going to take me anywhere. So I would send out about 5,000 emails per day. And my email read like this: I've got a client for you. If you do these 3 things on your website, I guarantee you'll get a client within the next 3 months. And this is absolutely free information for you. And it would say like, number 1, optimize your title tags and your meta descriptions. Number 2, optimize your H1, your headers and your subheaders. Number 3, get a couple backlinks from someone that you know, a local business that can link back to your website. And at the end, it would say, if you don't have the time to do this yourself, contact me. I'm trying to build out my portfolio and I could do it for less than anybody that you know. Yeah, out of 10,000 emails, I would probably get on the phone with 5 people and 1 person would close. So eventually I started closing and closing. I remember my first client was a hairdresser in Dana Point, California, and she was paying me $300 to create her Facebook page, manage her Facebook page, and manage her website. So eventually it started to snowball and I kept sending emails. That was in between 2010 and 2011. And then 2011, I had already moved to Medellin and I was working as an English teacher in downtown Medellin while doing this on the side. So imagine I would wake up at about 5 in the morning, go teach class from 6 a.m. till about 2 p.m. And then once I got home around 3 p.m., I would eat something and work on the computer from 3 to about 10 or 11, and then do that every day, 5 days a week. And then on the weekends, I would just solely be focused on my business. And then eventually, I found out about Odesk. Odesk is now called Upwork, upwork.com. It's a platform for freelancers to be able to put up their profile and bid on jobs. 2015, I had a friend who told me, bro, when you bid on a job, whether it's on Upwork or anywhere else, any platform, let's say you're just emailing someone, don't just send them text. Make a screen capture video yourself and your screen and show them what you can do. I started winning these bids because everyone was sending in a cover letter. No one was sending a video. It proved 2 things. Number 1, that I knew what I was talking about. And number 2, that I was a native English speaker, because a lot of the people that work on these freelancer websites are from other countries. And I started to get bigger and bigger accounts. And when I'm talking about bigger, it's like $500 a month. And then eventually someone for $1,000 a month. And then in 2016, I got my biggest contract, which was a $2,000 per month contract for a drug and alcohol rehab center in the United States. At that time, I was still teaching English and I was living with my business partner, and this $2,000 client started paying. I was still learning digital marketing. Since they were in the drug and alcohol rehab space, they were really impressed with me. I went to prison in 2002 for drugs. If it wasn't evident enough. And part of my punishment was to attend AA meetings, NA meetings, anger management, family counseling. After my bid, I had to do that outside for a few years. So I knew the drug and alcohol rehab game. I knew the jargon. I knew the steps. I knew everything. They're like, how do you know so much about our industry? Have you ever worked for any other drug and alcohol rehab center? I'm like, no, I had a cousin that went through it. That client today is my biggest client. It was a great journey with that client, but if it wasn't for my 2002 stint in prison, I would have never landed that job, I don't think, or I wouldn't have kept it, because that was what solidified it. You can't connect the dots looking forward into the future because you don't know why you're doing something sometimes. Sometimes you're just doing it because your gut tells you to do it. Or sometimes you're doing some stuff because a mentor told you that it's a good idea. Someone's encouraging you to do it, but you can't connect the dots yet. you won't be able to connect the dots until you're farther along the line and you're looking backwards. So now looking backwards at my life, I can connect the dots why I had to go to prison and learn about AA and NA, because without that, I wouldn't have the digital marketing company that I have now. I had to roll a stop sign, get a bunch of parking tickets, and get deported in order to be able to catapult my digital marketing career and business, and then ultimately living a great life. Finding the client and working for the clients and making the money was one journey. And then once I was able to make enough money where I was hiring people here, then I had to learn about the entities and the contracts for employees down here, which is different than in the United States. But I had to learn all of that through trial and error. We got an office, me and my business partner, here in Manila that we split with another friend of ours that had already an established team. Till 2019, when the pandemic started, we closed that down. Everything shut down in the United States. All of my clients just stopped. We had started to make really darn good money back then. And my clients just said, we've got to stop paying you because everything is on shutdown. All of their drug and alcohol rehab clinics were closed. No one was working. Everyone was at home. I'm like, okay, I just got to give it time. No matter what, everything will be okay. It's better than being stuck in a cell. That's my threshold of pain. Anything is better than being stuck in a cell. This too shall pass, right? My client called back and said, we've been granted status of being an emergency service. So now we're like the only thing open. Their business just blew up. Like mental health and addiction recovery blew up because of the pandemic. And I've never told anybody this or made this public because I feel bad, right? Like it was a horrible time for most of the world. For us, it was what catapulted me and my business and my career. But I was at the right place at the right time because years ago, more than a decade ago, I had gone through some shit that made me learn this stuff. And I kept chugging along and I kept positive and I kept learning. So I told you my life from getting here in 2010, completely broke and deported, to 2024, owning a couple of businesses, and properties out here, and also creating this channel. It's definitely part of my growth and it's part of my goals for 2024, and hopefully make friends with a lot of you in these live events that I'm going to have every single month. The first one is going to be on Thursday, the 25th of January. We're going to meet up live. If you want to come, hit the link in the description below to the Facebook group, RSVP on there. We'll get a head count. I don't think we could have more than 50 people, but even if it's just 5 people, I don't care. I just want to meet you guys and learn about you. You can't compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 12. For me, this is chapter 14 in my journey in Medellin. What chapter are you on? You might just be in chapter 1 or chapter 2. Just focus on your chapter and developing your life. That's what I've been doing. I've got some friends here that are multimillionaires. I don't compare myself to them. I learn from them and work on my own chapter, because eventually I will be there. And even if I don't get there, I'll be in such a great place that life will still be amazing. Please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel, because I do go live frequently and I upload videos constantly. I'm growing this community and I'm documenting my process of my entrepreneurial journey in Medellin and my fatherhood now in Medellin for you to learn from, and also for me to take your advice at times and learn from you. Love you guys. Hope you guys have a great night, and I'll see you.